David and Claire had been husband and wife for 10 years. A decade filled with shared jokes, midnight takeout, spontaneous drives through neon-lit streets. Anyone who saw them assumed they were the perfect pair. David, a clever designer with a sarcastic charm. Claire, a yoga instructor whose brightness pulled people toward her. They were the type of couple others referenced when they spoke about true compatibility. Passion, ambition, intimacy, they seemed to possess everything. But slowly something changed. Claire's increased girls' nights, her random out-of-town weekends, the space that crept into her eyes when she looked at him, it all set off alarms deep inside David. But he smothered them with trust. 10 years mattered. Bond mattered. That illusion shattered on a humid summer evening. He decided to surprise her at a loft gathering, a rooftop celebration someone they both knew was hosting. Claire had texted hours earlier saying she'd be there with friends. The space was buzzing when he arrived. Music pulsing, glasses clinking, string lights glowing over a crowd of laughing bodies. David searched for her in the sea of faces. No red curls. No familiar silhouette. Then he noticed something subtle. A friend make eye contact, then quickly look away. It wasn't random. It was dread. His feet moved on instinct toward a half-closed backroom door. His pulse hammered in his ears. He pushed it open, and the world turned still. Claire, entirely naked, fused with a man David recognized only faintly from her studio. Their limbs tangled on a velvet sofa, oblivious to anything except each other. David didn't shout. He didn't collapse. A sharp, eerie calm washed over him, like the cold edge of a blade. The room blurred into one freeze-frame image. Music became a distant hum. Every detail sharpened. Claire finally noticed him and jerked upright, panic draining the color from her face. The man scrambled, stuttering, grabbing for clothes. Claire stammered through half words, half lies. David looked only at her. And then, with the steadiness of someone who had just realized he'd crossed a line that could never be uncrossed, he said, "Nice technique, Claire. Your yoga form is really paying off." The room reacted. Gasp. Nervous laughter. It was a slice of humiliation so clean it didn't require volume. David didn't make a scene. He simply lifted his glass. "To starting fresh," he said flatly. "And to recognizing when the chapter is over." He drank. He set the glass down. He left. Claire scrambled behind him, not to chase, just to cover herself. And David never once turned back. The days that followed were a blur of calls, voicemails, pleading messages from Claire, tearful apologies, drunken excuses, all ignored. David packed essentials, moved into a friend's spare room, contacted a lawyer, and started untying the marriage slowly, legally, without theatrics. People whispered, not about Claire's body on a couch, but about how David walked out without breaking his own dignity. He became the example of restraint. Claire's world cracked. Clients stopped showing up, her studio reputation sagged. David didn't celebrate her consequences. He only wanted silence. He poured himself into design projects, new, bold, clean, each one carrying a sliver of his healing. Therapy revealed truths he had long avoided, not just that Claire cheated, but that the relationship had been fraying thread by thread for years. That night was simply the last tear. Months later, she approached him outside his favorite cafe, red-eyed, asking for another chance. His voice stayed calm, soft, finished. "You made your decision that night. This is mine." He walked away again, not angry, not vengeful, just finished. Later he learned the man meant nothing. Random. Disposable. A fling. It didn't matter. The bond had already rotted long before that couch. Time passed. He found a new apartment, bright, uncluttered. His artwork hung on the white walls like pieces of his rebirth. He started dating slowly again, letting small joys return. He rarely retold that rooftop moment. Not as a wound, but as a landmark. The exact second he reclaimed his self-worth. One quiet evening, standing on his balcony, city lights flickering below, David realized he finally felt stillness. Claire's betrayal exposed the weakness of their marriage. His restraint exposed his strength. No yelling. No revenge. Just one line, one glass lift, one exit that silenced a room, and opened the door to his new life.